is some of the best acting that I've seen. What adult, child, it doesn't matter what age. It was that moment, that scene that I'm like, top 3 film of the year for me.
Welcome to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. Hamnet. That is not a typo. This movie is, well, let's just say, was a big surprise to a lot of people for many reasons. But Jessie Buckley, Paul Mescal, Chloé Zhao, famous director, putting together one of the most talked about movies at the end of 2025.
He's got more inside of him than any man I've ever met.
Who are you looking for?
William Shakespeare.
I have no talent for waiting.
The women in my family see things.
What do you see?
You notice I didn't even give a description of the movie. I just talked about who was in it. We're also going to ask the big question.
That big question is, what's your favorite Shakespeare play? I mean, this could be relevant in some form or fashion, or it could be your favorite adaptation of a Shakespeare play. No reason, just figured we'd ask that.
I think about both. Are they the same or are they different?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. This movie is about William Shakespeare. Actually, it's more about his wife. But there are some people that did not know until the last moment of the film that it was indeed the Bard.
Were they hiding that?
No. That's where I was kind of stunned that people were shocked, because he's writing some of the most famous lines of Romeo and Juliet not far into this movie.
Well, I think it depends on how you go into the movie. Okay? I think they didn't necessarily do it on purpose to say his name, Shakespeare, early in the movie, because they don't want you to be distracted from the story. And the story is about love and loss and everything. It's not supposed to be a biopic on William Shakespeare. It's about
100% not.
Right. It's about his love for his family. It's about his wife, Agnes. It's about his son, Hamnet. It's about loss. It's about grief. It's about all that. It's not about Shakespeare. So on purpose, it was done to not reveal his name until the end, but also was done on purpose because they didn't want to distract that it's William Shakespeare.
But I love the fact that they didn't hide it either.
No, they did not.
It's there if you need it, but it's not the focus.
Plenty of context clues, but they didn't want to distract. Because I think it would have been a distraction if they just kept saying, Bill, 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 the whole time.
Having not seen a trailer for this, not really knowing what I was going into, which is how I prefer it, by the way. I know people don't necessarily operate like that. It took me, I think it was about halfway through the movie, when there's some townsperson said something like, "Well, William Shakespeare," and I was like, "Oh, no way!" So I didn't know
one of those guys,
but I didn't. It wasn't like, "Oh, I didn't know."
It was like, oh,
yeah, it was like, "Oh, that's cool." It wasn't an issue of,
and I'm waiting for it. I was just like,
see, I didn't have that
theater degree, formed plenty of Shakespeare in my day, and I'm just like, when are they going to say it? And that's why I say it would have been distracting.
To me, it would have been distracting because I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have given it half a chance. And I don't mean that necessarily in a negative way, like, oh, I'm not seeing that Shakespeare crap. I'm not saying that.
It went down the Gover.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I would have looked at it differently. Instead of coming in fresh where I'm like, this is really compelling. This is a really great story. The acting is tremendous. The emotions are right up front in your face. And yeah, I would have not missed all of that, but I would have been looking at it through a different lens had I known.
So here's what I say about Hamnet. To me, it's a masterpiece in classic dramatic filmmaking.
Ooh, that's good.
And the reason I say that is I think back to some dramas from like the 70s and early 80s. And I think back to the classic Romeo and Juliet. I mean, it's critically acclaimed.
The Elizabeth Hussey one, that one?
Yes.
Been some positive buzz over the years.
Yeah. So and when I say classic dramatic filmmaking, it's like, it's so beautiful because it's, I want to say simple is the wrong word, but it's stated so eloquently and beautifully without being overdone.
Quietly.
And that's what makes this a masterpiece, is because just the shot, the way it's shot with just soft pans, with the music, with everything, it's just the color. Everything is done so beautifully and eloquently, and that's what makes it a masterpiece to me. you put all the things together, from the acting to how it's written to the emotion that you feel, to even when they are going between scenes, just like in a play where you have quick blackouts to reset. It gives your mind that opportunity to quickly digest, reset to the next scene of what's happening next.
And breathe.
Breathe. It's
gorgeous.
Exhale. Because you need it.
Because, wow. Yeah. I also will say, whoa, how this movie explores emotions in a way I haven't seen in a movie in a long time. I love that Chloé Zhao was the director. If you have seen Nomadland, for which she's just been rightfully praised, she can find absolute power in quiet, the mundane, and the simple, and see the huge things in those moments. So the way she approaches storytelling was so good for this subject matter. I know it's a beloved book. People absolutely adore it. Found out about that after I saw the movie. Oh yes, like there's huge fans. So what a great adaptation. Perfect director for it.
I thought it was a masterpiece as well. It's not my genre. I'll be very honest with you guys. I'm not clamoring to go look for 2-hour-long dramas that don't have a lot of anything else
that make you feel something.
Yeah. Well, no, the feeling is fine.
Make you go places.
Yeah, that's fine. But it was done so well. And Jessie Buckley is, I mean, we saw her in Women Talking, and that was just awesome too.
She's a treasure, man.
Yeah, but again, those two movies that I've just named, Women Talking and Hamnet, are not movies that I would seek out. But when you do see them,
that category of movie, yeah, they're like, wow, never would have picked it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I saw that.
Oh, very much so. I'm a better person because I saw both those movies, I'll put it that way. And Jessie Buckley had a huge part, obviously, in both of them. And I am now a Jessie Buckley fan. I will probably, for the next few years at least, see anything that she's in. It's that good. Because again, even though I'm not like, I would go watch that. If she's in it, I'd be like, all right, you've earned my attention. What amazing cinematic experience are you in this time?
Somebody who didn't bring the kind of performance she did could have really screwed up this movie.
Oh, yes.
What she was asked to do, the breadth of emotions from one of the best explorations of grief I've seen in a long time, to one of the most amazing childbirth scenes I've ever seen. And I've witnessed actual childbirth.
You're talking real life.
She was better than my wife.
All right.
She had her children. No, just kidding. It was incredible. And just think how badly that could go from even a really good actor. Well, if there was a movie to go deeper on, it's Hamnet. Okay, let's talk about Paul Mescal, who also has been one of those rising stars, smaller roles getting larger and larger until he's supporting, and then he's, this is a supporting role. Mm-hmm. But what did he do with that role for you guys?
I thought he played the role perfectly in terms of a support role, because he's having to have that right amount of chemistry with Jessie Buckley's character in terms of playing off the emotion, the grief, being distant, because for so many people, obviously, did not understand that he's William Shakespeare, that he has to go off and do this job in London, where he's a writer, and he has to be in London, and the goal is to get them in the family to come to London eventually. And so him dealing with grief, especially right after, spoiler, Hamnet passes away, for him to just miss that, and how he has to work with Agnes in dealing with that grief. That's what you want in that supporting character, because the focus is still not on him in the moment, but it's his reaction to it, how he is in the character to react to his wife. And then even as she's grieving, when he's like, I have to go, the company is returning, and you, not to make him a villain, but you start to understand, like, he's trying to do this for the family, right? Does it make him a bad father? Does it make him a bad husband? All those questions are right to be asked.
But is it all for the family?
Is it right? Or is it him? And the thing is, this is obviously a dramatic take on William Shakespeare, right? This is not 100% accurate by any means, but it makes you question all those things as well. So he puts that much into the role, especially at the beginning of what he's going through. He's just a tutor. He's trying to make up for his father's debt and what he's dealing with at home and everything. And then he falls in love with a witch. And seeing love and grief. So I think he pulls it off so well that he's not stealing any limelight from who the movie is actually and truly about, but he truly does support the storytelling of Agnes and Hamnet.
I learned a lot in this, you guys. I didn't know Hamlet and Hamnet were the same person.
I guess they're interchangeable in that time period.
I didn't know Hamnet was his son. I didn't, just didn't know that. I didn't know Shakespeare was also an actor. Maybe that's part of the fictitious part. I don't know, but I didn't know he was an actor. I didn't really thought about it. I just thought he was kind of directing or writing these things. And
at times they would take the stage.
Yeah, and I just didn't know
They
that.
did a little of everything.
Yeah, I learned that Jessie Buckley is one of the greatest actors in this generation that no one's ever heard of. I know that one. And I learned that I'm too stupid to understand Shakespeare.
No.
I don't know a single word they said in this movie on stage. Don't know it. And there's this whole emotional thing that's going on with Jessie Buckley's character. So Agnes is there at the foot of the stage, pushes her away, starts yelling at the characters, this and that. I'm like, I don't even know what they're saying. So for me, it was just a validation in a weird way. My whole life of like, I just don't understand Shakespeare. I was fully invested in this movie. Okay. Fully invested. Okay? Like not doing anything else, just watching it, zeroed in the zone, captivated by the emotion of all the scenes prior to the stage production. And the stage production was interesting and fascinating, and all the way there's no seats, everyone's just standing around, and there's dignitaries and there's common people, and all this. This is a really great moment, and it's an honor to their son. And I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. So I just want to tell everyone, I'm too stupid to know what Shakespeare is.
No, you're not.
Did you? No. You're not, and you didn't need to know anything, did you, for this movie?
No, that's fair because of the dramatic way. Like clearly, what her reaction. Again, lesser actors probably not, right? But Jessie Buckley's reaction to certain lines, to certain things, to the appearance of certain characters on the stage told me all I needed to know. Thankfully. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, when he's doing the rehearsal scenes with the company, right? I'm like, I don't even know what's going on.
Okay. One, you're not too stupid. This has been a huge talking point because people are like, what's even being said? We have studied Shakespeare for how many hundreds of years?
Yeah.
In school.
All 48 of mine.
Studied Shakespeare, we've seen so many different iterations of it. We've seen, whether stage plays, whether it is adaptations and movie to modern times. We've seen music about it. There's so much. What makes this brilliant is that you don't have to understand every word because it is a version of English that we don't utilize anymore. That's where all of the onus becomes on the direction, the choreography on the stage, and the actor to portray those words and to understand what those words mean, even if they don't know, but you know what the basis is of what is being said. And then you see that in how Shakespeare is directing during rehearsal as well, too. You may not understand exactly what every word means, like we have in our language. Whatever language you do speak, this word means this word means this. You just have to understand what the phrase means.
And if I could dovetail onto that, I think something that you guys are going to love, because when I heard this, it was amazing. Interview with Chloé Zhao, the director. She does not speak English very well. She literally, in the scenes that Paul Mescal, she was talking about him in particular, she didn't even know what the words were. Mm-hmm. But Paul Mescal had told her, if I do this right, you don't need to know what the words are because I will have told you the story with how I'm speaking.
Exactly. That's what makes Shakespeare beautiful, because you think of the to be or not to be speech, one of the most famous speeches in all of Shakespeare's written plays, right? And people overact it so much. We see it in Billy Madison.
Great classic example of Shakespeare.
No, but
did not think that was coming up in this episode.
But it's overacted, right?
Yeah.
But what to be or not to be is, it is an internal struggle of Hamlet asking himself a question. As long as you can convey that message the audience understands without understanding every single word. That's the beauty of it. And that's why I love it so much, is because exactly, there are so many celebrities and actors that are like, I know what the line is. I don't understand everything at the line, but I know what I have to convey. And that's perfect because you understood. Even without knowing, you understood. And that's beautifully acted. That means the director did her job very well. It means you as an audience member at least consumed it properly enough to understand what the message was. You are not too stupid, and do not say that ever again. I want to talk about Jacobi Jupe and his brother Noah Jupe.
Yeah.
You know, we bag on Gover about making fun of child actors, but
You won't get any of that here.
no. But we also have a vote in our ballot for the Music City Film Critics Association for Best Young Actor, Best Young Actress. Jacobi Jupe is an absolute treasure. Holy moly.
I have no idea how a kid that young could do it so well.
He's already been making the rounds in media on television shows with his brother, Noah, who played Hamlet. Love that connection, right? So you have Jacobi playing Hamnet and his older brother, Noah, playing Hamlet. The looks were astounding when you see it on screen as well. But the kid studied Shakespeare almost his entire life. He's young, so it's not much of an entire life. But he's been studying Shakespeare and studying theater. The performance he gave is award-worthy in itself.
It also is a supporting actor nod, and it's only supporting actor because of it's not a big volume of minutes.
But him laying in bed with his twin sister who is battling the plague, and the emotion he's expressing basically to say, take my life to save hers. And then that's what happens. And the scene, I'm getting chills talking about it, holy moly. And then the following scene,
It's nuts.
with his mother, with Agnes, and him basically passing away on screen is some of the best acting that I've seen. What adult, child, it doesn't matter what age. He was incredible on screen. And the way that Chloé Zhao directed this as well, too, to where you know there were some long takes that were happening. And all the actors, even supporting roles that didn't have any lines, were just in the room, right? Leading to the scene of feeling so much emotion that while I watch this at home, I can only imagine how quiet it would have been in the theater.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Because the way that I was just deeply breathing slowly to where it was just fully, I was just entrenched in the scene because they were so good. It was that moment, that scene that I'm like, top 3 film of the year for me. Like right in that moment is when I knew that it was a top 3 film for me this year.
What a year for kid actors. I mean, there's been a lot of really great performances.
Yes.
Owen Cooper in the limited series Adolescence on Netflix. Incredible. And I thought, he's the runaway for the year. It's just the best I've seen. There's been a lot of great ones, but then Jacobi Jupe just stole a movie for any time he was on screen.
If Jessie Buckley's not in it, he does steal it.
All right, let's get scores on Hamnet.
This is as close to a perfect film as I believe you can get, especially in the feature of drama. I felt so much. It's one of those movies that obviously moved me to tears. Even if you're not a parent, like I'm not, Jessie Buckley is so wonderful at conveying the grief and the connection, the emotion. And then when there's that moment where she realizes that it's her son on stage, that this was his way of grieving, which is to write a play honoring his late son and being able to say goodbye. Overcome with emotions. And how many movies can truly pull that off beautifully the entire way? There's not one moment where I checked my watch, and I was at home. There's not one moment where I hit pause. There's not one moment where I felt like I needed a distraction. I was in it the entire time and connected because it is a beautiful, beautiful work of art. And again, a masterpiece in classic dramatic filmmaking. And what speaks to me so much is that when it's not somebody's genre or cup of tea that they gravitate to, or like, I'm going to watch that and can still have so many positive things to say about it, find a way to connect to it, you know it's damn good. And that means a lot to a filmmaker like a Chloé Zhao, or to the actors in this as well, when you have audience members that can find a way to truly enjoy the product and the experience that you're putting out there without it being a genre they tend to enjoy overall. Because how many dramatic movies would a Gover seek out? Not many.
A handful.
Overall. Mm-hmm. Because drama is not even that big of a category as much nowadays, too, that's being put out in the theaters. So when a good one comes along, you got to sing its praises, and you got to give it its due when it comes to awards. It's a 9.5 for me.
Yeah, the only thing I knew going into Hamnet was, it's about William Shakespeare's son, is what I heard going in, and it's really going to move you. So, I had a little bit of expectations that this is going to move. I had no idea it was going to take me where it went. So even with those expectations that I was going to feel these emotions, I had no idea I could feel them that deeply, if not for these performances. So, these are the kind that come along every once in a while. And like you said, you have to acknowledge them. And I was just blown away. There's a lot of people out there that threw a lot of hate on like a movie like Shakespeare in Love, right? They're like, that was never supposed to win anything. She shouldn't have. All that stuff. Like I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. Even don't hate on it. And I'm watching this and going, oh my God, Shakespeare in Love was trash compared to this movie. Such trash. But this, I am so much the better for having watched this movie. And I have been thinking about this movie every day since I saw it. And it's been a little while. So I'm going to give it a 9. I could have gone 9.5.
What is the purpose of art? To draw emotions out of us, right? A stand-up says something funny, you laugh. An artist paints an incredible portrait of your grandfather, you cry. An author writes a great chapter, you get goosebumps. These are all forms of art, and they all elicit an emotion in us. Hamnet may not be entertaining for me, like just coming in, like I'm not like, ooh, I'm not excited about this. And it may not be my favorite genre, but this will make you feel everything. The whole gamut of emotions. You'll root for characters. You'll see the bad in characters, how they're short, their shortcomings. You'll plead for the kids. You will understand reluctantly why William is going back to London at the worst possible time. You will also understand simultaneously in the moment, how can he leave his wife? You will experience all of these things. And it is quite a display and a masterpiece in that way. Chloé Zhao shoots it tremendously. Very, very beautiful film to look at. It's a nice tight 2 hours and 6 minutes, but I think 5 of those minutes are credits, so let's call it 2 hours. I applaud that because, again, dramas, especially, you can get them carried out because they go a little too hard on character development or whatever the case is, and all of a sudden it's 2.5 hours, and you're like, this is a slog. Did not feel like that at all. It is probably... I'm not going to rank it. That would be stupid. But I will say it's one of the best movies of the year. It will be on my Music City Film Critics Association ballot for Best Picture, among some other things that we talked about. I'm going to give Hamnet a 9.0. It is up there for me. I don't know if it's the best movie I've seen all year, but I will tell you it is. I'm not going to argue with anybody who thinks it is. It's so well done. Jessie Buckley is amazing, and I'll see anything she's in. That's the takeaway.
Time to ask the big question.
What's your favorite Shakespeare play / adaptation? And there's plenty out there.
Let's put Gover on the spot and stare at him until he tells us his favorite.
Othello.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to play the board game as a kid. I don't have one, you guys. I don't know. We've been over this. I'm too stupid for Shakespeare.
I love it.
You're not too stupid for Shakespeare.
It doesn't hold my attention at all. I don't get it. And it's
So it's Othello, which is a black and white board game I used to play as a kid. Sorry.
Really thought you were going to say because of the murder.
I know nothing about it. So,
and because it's black and white and Othello as well. So
But what did you think of the board game movie? Which, by the way, in a year of sequels and intellectual properties beaten to death, why not?
yeah, we'll welcome it.
I can't believe they haven't done it already.
That's right.
You don't have a favorite adaptation?
No.
There's so many out there, you know, right?
Name one that I may have heard of, and maybe we'll talk about it.
Well, I don't want to
10
do
Things I Hate About You.
It's okay.
I mean, I don't want to give mine away.
Right. So get through them, and then maybe I'll revisit.
There's Leo's Romeo and Juliet.
I will.
That's okay.
I will
more
mention
teeny bopper drama.
there are a lot of movies that I think are in your list of I like that movie that you didn't know were based on a Shakespeare play.
But guess what?
He's too stupid for
I
Shakespeare.
still don't know. So you guys go ahead, and maybe I'll circle back.
Okay. Well, I'm going to jump in there because Othello for real is my favorite Shakespeare play.
Okay.
And I too, I'm not like, I can't quote you a whole lot. I can quote you the famous stuff. But Othello was one of those that I remember having to read when I was in maybe 9th grade. I forget what year. But
That sounds about right.
it struck me. The jealousy, the raw rage, jealousy, and emotions of Othello they still stay with me, and it's powerful, and I haven't, seen or read the story in quite some time. As far as adaptations in film, an easy one would be Henry V with Kenneth Branagh in the late 80s.
Oh, okay.
So good, but I'm not.
Okay.
Maybe it's recency bias, but I'll go with The Tragedy of Macbeth with Denzel Washington most recently.
Okay.
That was just so weird and cool, and that's another one emblazoned in my brain.
And Denzel's done his fair share of Shakespeare.
Yes, he has.
He truly has. Okay. So my two are A Midsummer Night's Dream. It's just, I mean, and that might be cliche. People are going to roll their eyes at that one. But I have a connection because I played 2 different roles in it in 2 different times of my life.
Oh,
Interesting.
So in middle school, I was Lysander. And then in college, I was Demetrius. Funny story, in the stage version of this in college, the entire time with rehearsals, obviously really good friends with the man playing Lysander across from me. The whole time during rehearsals for multiple weeks, we're not using swords or actual like weapons at all because we don't have them yet in our possession to get them rented from a costume company, right?
Right.
So every time during rehearsal, we make the sound that we're drawing our weapon, our dagger, like shoo, shoo, swing, all those types of things from our leather belts. To the point that on opening night, when we actually had the weapons, because we had rehearsed for weeks making the sound, and thank God it's a comedy, we both made the sounds, and the audience erupted in laughter. And the director is like, you got to keep it now.
That's
Real metal
so
weapons that are
good.
supposed to make a sound. But if it weren't a comedy, that obviously would have been highly frowned upon. But A Midsummer Night's Dream is another comedy of errors. Not my favorite Shakespeare, but also another Shakespeare. But a wonderful comedy of errors in terms of Shakespeare. Other favorite is more of the adaptation of it, which is Twelfth Night. And one of my favorite adaptations is She's the Man, starring Amanda Bynes. Did you know that was Shakespeare?
I did 5 seconds ago when I looked it up, and that was my answer, but you just took it.
That's why I didn't say it. But She's the Man is a wonderful adaptation of Twelfth Night, if you did not know. And it actually has aged quite well. I just watched it recently on a plane, of all places.
Hasn't.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
I wish you'd be able to make a comeback.
so
Because
sorry.
so many
So
wonderful
sorry.
actresses make
I'm so sorry.
comebacks.
So sorry. Yeah, I just saw an opportunity for a joke, and
That's
I
at Gover Time to
I'm
send your hate.
so sorry.
But I love that. I love hearing about movies that you think, oh, well, that probably didn't age well. And then you can go back and watch it and
And
great.
it's almost a direct adaptation. It's
been a while.
It is a modern adaptation of Twelfth Night, almost to a T. Okay, if you watch the movie and you do it, say just do a quick Cliff Notes of Twelfth Night Gover, you're gonna be like, oh, that's like almost 100%. This is not like 10 Things I Hate About You is more of a looser adaptation in ways. This is almost, when I say direct, we're talking like it's probably 70-75% of the way there with updated language, things like that. But the premise of the story, the plot, the whole pretending you're a man playing on the soccer team and everything because your brother's not there, all that's all 12th Night. And so that's why, as Jim said, there are so many things because Shakespeare wrote so much. There's so many adaptations in film that are inspired by his stories and by the stories created and told by Shakespeare as well too, that you probably don't even realize it. It's just because he's the bard. He's the goat of playwriting, and that's why I love it, because it's a comedy. It's obviously a little bit of a coming of age. It is a teen comedy as well, but it has actually, surprisingly, given the period that it was made, aged fairly well without having too many things that are cringy in it. Because those types of movies could easily be full of so much cringe when you add 15 to 20 years to it.
Right. There are a lot of movies just like it that would put you in front of HR if you showed it at the Christmas party. So, do you have a favorite Shakespeare work? And do you have a favorite Shakespeare adaptation in film? You got to let us know. In YouTube, you can let us know in the comments. If you're listening to the podcast, you got to hit us up on socials. You can find us. I'm Jim Chandler now.
It's go overtime.
JBB Journeys.
Let us know.
Thank you for listening to the Untitled Film Project Podcast. To support the show, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe. Original music by Jeremy Schwartz. Special thanks to the Music City Film Critics Association. Editing and post-production by Jeremy K. Gover. Voiceover by Chad Bennett.